Hey everyone, welcome back to Work-Life Wellness. In this series, we're joined by heads of wellbeing from leading global organizations who share their expertise, experience, and actionable strategies to enhance employee wellbeing and foster a thriving culture of wellness. Today, I'm joined by Marni McDowell, who's a Senior Director of Global Wellbeing and Experience at Micron. In our conversation, Marni discusses preventative wellbeing strategies, the link between talent management and employee experience, and how leaders can set the tone by prioritizing their own well-being. You mentioned to me before that you were employee one within the wellbeing team. How long ago was that? Remind me.
Yeah, about 15 years ago.
Wow. So talk to me through how the work that you do now has changed.
Yes, it has significantly changed. So as you know, Micron first started considering how do we offer employee wellness. Even the terminology, it was a wellness program at that time. And I came on as the first employee to do that. And over time, it grew and it grew. And then we became, things that added a few people to the team, looking at, okay, how do we reach more people in the company versus just the site that I was located at? So how do we kind of spread the reach of things? How do we include things like recognition, the workplace experience, some of those on-site amenities? So that was kind of another iteration. And then if we fast forward to today, we have about 25 people that is geographically dispersed. And we cover everything from one-to-one support of an employee on the mental health front through a group called Team Member Advocacy, to well-being experience, which is really focusing on the workplace, to organizational well-being, which is really, okay, how am I experiencing work, my leader, all of those things, and then what are some things that we can do to address how we function, how we actually get our work done. That ultimately impacts burnout, work-life balance, boundaries, all of those things. So, it really has shifted from this physical and mental health perspective to this concept of well-being, where we really kind of touch the gamut of all things. And as a result, we've, been fortunate to grow the team while building the solid business case along the way, to really show that it makes a difference in attraction, retention, performance, all of those things.
Yeah. Have you also noticed a kind of bigger shift in terms of preventative measures, as opposed to traditionally it's like, okay, you have a challenge, here's some resources? Yeah,
100%. And root cause is really what we're focused on. It's you can think of all of these things, and we find all these great tools and resources to provide to employees. And then it's really up to them whether they want to choose to engage with those. And that's typically been the relationship that most of us have been on. And a lot of the shift that we're seeing happen, certainly within Micron, within many other organizations, is that what is the role of the organization? Okay, so the employees have a role, but the employer, the leaders, all of that structure has an equal role. And so kind of what are the parts that we play? And yes, employee, you're having some struggles, whatever it may be, we'll give you tools and resources if you want to do that. But then it's also saying, okay, what is our part in it? And so how do we address it before it gets to be a bigger thing? When you think about all the things that we do from a health and wellness perspective for employees, if they have a poor relationship with their leader, that will have more negative impact on them than some health conditions will. So, we can give them all these things, but if they are not in a positive space with their leader and the people they work with, they're not even going to probably want to take part in all these things that we're offering them. Yeah. So it is a bit of chicken, egg kind of a concept, what goes first, but you really have to, if you are focusing on anything to address well-being, it really starts at relationships that people have. And then is where you start to see the goodness in things, where you create an environment and an atmosphere where people can thrive, which clearly impacts your business outcomes. But that's because when individuals are performing and doing well, then you create this whole kind of goodness around all of it.
Yeah. To talk about why is well-being so critical in terms of your talent and talent management?
Yeah. With those who are entering the career entering the workforce today, those earlier in their career, their expectation of work and their employer is very different than it was when I entered the workforce, that's for sure. And they expect of that work experience to be an experience for them, to be able to align with social impact, to feel as if they belong and they're included in something, to have a social network and a social connection from their workplace, in addition to actually doing a job that is fulfilling their purpose, right? So that's a pretty tall order to fill. But it really is, how do you try to differentiate yourself as an employer where you do really well at a couple of these things to make it a place that people want to come to? And then, once you get people in the door, you have to make sure you're working hard every day to keep them.
Having to work in this space on a day-to-day basis, you're exposed to a lot of different emotions, the highs, the lows, and stress. How do you make sure that you don't absorb that and take care of your own well-being?
Yeah. If I just speak personally, when I'm not at my best, right? What are the red flags where, okay, I may not be showing up, I might be terse in my response, those type of things is really telling me, okay, step away, catch your breath, go back to that sustainable well-being approach. Okay, where am I falling short on with myself? Where I'm just, not myself, and really then making sure I step away to try to recharge and recover. And it's so important, and I think it's, I call it, having a bit of a thick skin in this industry, because we often get turned down. We often are at the last of the line if you're presenting something, and you just got to keep coming back, and you have to have the energy and not taking it personally, but continue to drive your agenda. But you can't do that if you're tired and you're worn out and you feel burnt out. And so you really have to practice what you preach a little bit and apply some of these principles to yourself.
Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more, make sure you click the link below to download WellHub's Work-Life Wellness 2025 report by link in the description. Until then, have a great day, and we'll see you next week.